So what is litigation funding? Litigation funding is the funding of litigation by outside third parties who do not have a legitimate or independent interest in the dispute in question. It is usually done for profit. Unlike many other common law jurisdictions, including the UK and the US, this type of for-profit litigation funding remains outlawed in Ireland, as it is subject to the ancient laws of maintenance and charity, which are both criminal offences and civil wrongs in Ireland. However, this prohibition is subject to some specific exceptions. So what is currently allowed in Ireland when it comes to litigation funding? First, litigation funding by a third party with a legitimate interest in proceedings is allowed. Examples include funding by a shareholder or a creditor of a company that is a party to the litigation in question. Secondly, litigation funding on foot of what is called an after-the-event insurance policy is allowed. These are insurance policies that are taken out by a plaintiff after a dispute has arisen, and which are designed to protect that plaintiff if they are unsuccessful in the litigation. Thirdly, following the enactment of the Courts and Civil Law Miscellaneous Provisions Act of 2023, third-party litigation funding is now allowed in Ireland in respect of international commercial arbitration proceedings. This has led to increased interest in the Irish legal market from professional litigation funding firms, most of which are based in the UK. So, what is not currently allowed? Professional for-profit litigation funding remains outlawed in Ireland. This is where an entity, usually a professional funder, with no connection or legitimate interest in the litigation in question, provides funding in relation to the case in return for a profit. It looks like change may be on the horizon in respect of litigation funding in Ireland. The Irish Law Reform Commission published a consultation paper in July 2023, which recommended that legislation be enacted by the Oireachtas to permit for-profit litigation funding in certain circumstances. The Law Reform Commission believes that this would improve access to justice in Ireland and help balance the financial strength position between opposing parties in litigation. Any such change in this area of litigation funding, which has the effect of increasing access to the courts and makes such access less dependent on an individual's financial position, is to be welcomed. However, it is very important that this is an area that is subject to proper regulation, preferably through tailored legislation as envisaged by the Irish Law Reform Commission, to ensure that it is not abused.